On this edition of Around BCC, we continue our road trip with visits this month to BCC's locations in Attleboro and Taunton. Local middle and high school students come to BCC to take part in a robotics scrimmage, and adult learners who recently attained their high school diploma experience college for a day. Welcome to Around BCC. I'm Keith Tebow. For the second straight month, we're taking the show on the road. Last month, we had the opportunity to speak to the people at BCC's New Bedford campus. Today, we go to the northern regions of BCC service area. We're going to be focusing on Attleboro and Taunton. And first, we are in Attleboro. Pleased to be joined, as we have now for the past few years, Dean Rodney Clark, who's the Dean of the Attleboro campus. And I'm also joined by Dominique Clark, no relation, who is one of the students here at the Attleboro campus. So thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And Rodney, great to be back here again.
Sounds good to me.
Now, it's interesting, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be working at the college now for 15 years. And big celebration this year in Attleboro, 10 years that Attleboro has had its one-stop shop location. First, of course, at the old high school on County Street, and now here at the old Texas Instruments building. So it's a celebratory year, 10 years in Attleboro. Big accomplishment. Congratulations.
Well, thank you for that. It was really a wonderful event for us because actually we had a week's worth of programming where we had special lectures that took place every night that week. And then it culminated with a larger event, a celebratory event on Saturday, the last part of September, to really commemorate, you know, the 10-year anniversary of BCC being in Attleboro. And it was wonderful because we had local as well as national politicians who came and read proclamations and gave citations to really commemorate the event because it's a significant, you know, accomplishment for the college. And I know that when I've talked to people in the community, they are so glad that BCC is in Attleboro. It is wonderful, the type of warmth and support that we've received here. So the 10-year anniversary is simply an example of that support.
It seems like only yesterday that we were at the County Street location when they were opening up and not sure of the popularity of, you know, how would BCC succeed in Attleboro. But what we've seen, and you know this firsthand, Rodney, is that it's the old, if you build it, they will come, where if there's a need in an area, and you know the urban areas of our county, there always is a need to expand educational opportunities. That, you know, BCC in Attleboro has been a smashing success, and you know through 10 years plus now, that it really has been something. And you know, talk a little bit about the growth maybe over the years that some people may have not thought of. That there may have been some meager beginnings in Attleboro before the center was open. There were just classes at Attleboro High School, and you know, talk a little bit about the growth in general.
Well, when I first began at the college, just around the same time that you did, I mean, I was working as the Dean of Admissions, and at the time the college they offered a bunch of classes at Attleboro High School as they did in some of the other municipalities that we serve. And our enrollments were very modest, you know, maybe 100 students, handful of classes or so. And it was fine, we had great support from Attleboro High School, but we knew that in order for us to really serve this area, we had to have our own standalone operation. And so that's really worked well for us. So we started with 100 or so students at Attleboro High School, you know, at night, small amounts. And then once we moved to County Street, the enrollments really grew. I think it was something like 400 students that first year out. And now we're well over 1,000 students here, taking classes literally 7 days a week. So it's really been fantastic.
And there have been a number of programs that students can get most of their requirements done right here in Attleboro. What are some of those?
Well, actually, we have a handful of programs in the business area and technology and criminal justice and early childhood education where students can start and finish their programs right here in Attleboro. And it's not just the coursework. I mean, that's important to, you know, to us as well, but at the same time, we have a full-fledged library here and tutoring center. And Dominique can talk a little bit about that momentarily, certainly. And that's really been supportive for us because what happens is, you know, the college works really hard in trying to recruit people and get people into the building. And that's important, and to have the kind of course that really matter to them. But having the academic support in place, you know, from tutoring and disability services and a library, those things matter. That's what really holds students in place.
And one of the things, and when President Sprague mentioned this when in the fall semester, it's a distinction that only academicians will think about, but Attleboro this year was actually designated as a campus. I mean, a lot of people may have thought that it was a campus, but technically it was a center. But now we're a full-fledged campus with all the services that go along with it. And again, that's just another accomplishment that should be promoted here in Attleboro. Again, people outside watching this say, well, I always thought Attleboro was a campus. Well, technically it wasn't, but now it is, and that helps.
No, it does, because the thing of it is that just kind of going back to our service area in Attleboro, we recognize that the city of Attleboro is fully 45 minutes away from Fall River. And the extent to which they're able to provide services in place for people, it puts them in a position of not having to travel to Fall River unless they really want to. And we have a lot of the basics right here in Attleboro.
Right. We talked to Dominique for a few minutes. Dominique, you are, this is your final year of classes here at BCC. You hope to complete in the summer. What's your major, and I guess what interested you about taking classes close to home? You live in Mansfield, not quite Attleboro, but what attracted you to coming here to the Attleboro campus?
The main thing that attracted me to coming to the Attleboro campus was the location. I mean, it's literally like 10, maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. So it's a lot easier to come here than to go to Fall River. And in the beginning, that really interested me. Plus, also, this is where I took my placement test as well. So this was the only campus I was kind of really familiar with in the beginning. It wasn't until I started taking courses in Fall River during my 3rd semester that I really even knew about the Fall River campus and the workings. Plus, I liked how it was close-knit. I knew everybody in the enrollment center, and I could talk to them if I had any problems. So I really liked the smallness of it, kind of.
Right.
I liked that a lot.
Was college always an option for you, or did it help that this was closer to home, and did it help make your decision to say, yeah, I do want to go to college and I do want to further my career?
Well, see, college was always an option for me. It was just I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I kind of liked BCC and the idea of like getting my foot in the water, kind of seeing like what I really wanted to do, like whether it was going to be in the science field, or maybe I took a couple courses in like the English field, and like whether I liked that or like because with the other colleges you can do that, but it costs a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So at BCC it was much more affordable to try and like test the waters and see exactly what I liked and where I wanted to like go with my life.
Rodney mentioned you're one of the tutors here at the tutoring center.
Yes.
What are some of the subjects you tutor, and what do you like about being a tutor?
Well, I tutor a lot of math, like math 119, statistics, up to like trigonometry. So basically, and also I tutor history, some of those things. But basically, what I like about being a tutor is just being able to help students and just seeing the dedication that the students have to their studies, and how they really want to succeed, and how they use me as a stepping stone almost to succeed and do well in their classes, because they really understand the value of getting an education has for them.
Let me ask you, you talked a little bit about the close-knit nature of the Attleboro campus. How helpful was the staff here to get you going, to get you on the right track to picking classes? And you're a liberal arts major, I understand, math and science. How easy was working with the staff here to get you on your way to taking classes and picking the right classes?
It was exceptionally easy, because like you can always just go in there, and normally like they're really good about setting up appointments with people, so that, say for example, like I went in today and I was like, I really need an appointment like within like today or tomorrow. Like they're really good about getting you meeting with an academic advisor, and the advisors here are really excellent. So I mean, I would say that my experience here with all the enrollment center it's been pretty wonderful.
And what's the future hold for you?
Well, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to go to University of Massachusetts after I graduate, or University of Hawaii. So that's kind of.
Well, we talked earlier with the weather this winter.
Right.
Be an easy decision for me, but that's just me. I can only speak for that. But there's a lot of other factors, of course, in picking another school. Dominique, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Rodney, let's talk a little bit about, we've talked about 10-year anniversary. Let's look forward, maybe even next year going forward.
Sure.
I know one of the things that's always important is trying to meet the needs, the educational needs of the region. And you have a region here in the greater Attleboro area. What are some of the things you're thinking about in terms of meeting the educational needs, not only for students like Dominique, but workforce development opportunities. So what are some of your goals, say, in the short term?
We tried to look at things from a variety of vantage points, certainly. So we're always trying to make sure that we have the support services in place, for the students who are right here, right now. I mean, that's obvious. We talked about that earlier.
Right.
We're also having an eye toward existing high school students and even middle school students. We have a couple of programs slated for later on in the springtime.
Right.
A program for high school girls called Girls Who Code, that's coming up, and to have, really, technology-based applications for students to really work, sink their hands into it and really get a sense of what it takes to be an effective coder. The other piece is that we have some STEM programming to take place also in the later part of May, and that's for middle school students, because the point in both cases is that we're trying to set the tone for students to recognize that this is an absolute excellent destination point for our students. And the extent to which the students know that these things are in place, they know that they have the academic opportunities available to them, we're looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And so that's really been good for us.
And also maybe expansion of some programs to try to help students complete their classes. Like Dominique, she's got to take some courses in Fall River,
sure.
So that's always something you're looking at as well, right?
Well, yeah, expansion is always firm in our mind because we're thinking of, like I mentioned earlier, we're certainly looking at trying to perfect what we already have in place here. We're also having an eye toward, the future and working with high school and middle school students. But we're also looking at to what extent can we and should we expand our physical location here in Attleboro. Mm-hmm. We've had some significant discussions about that and what that would take in order to really expand the kind of programming that we offer here. That's why it's wonderful for me to have the collaborative relationship with different business owners and community leaders to find out what makes the most sense for Attleboro. How can we partner even more effectively in providing, whether it's workforce training or college training, right in the workforce, or to have these individuals come here. So I love that kind of partnership.
And it's continuing to be a success story here in Attleboro, and we wish you all the best. Rodney and Dominique, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
We'll have more of Around BCC right after this. We are now shifted our focus to the northeastern part of Bristol Community College's service region. We are in Taunton, and there's some exciting things happening in Taunton and BCC's role here. I'm pleased to be joined by the director of the Taunton Center, Gloria Sadler, and also student Alexa Burrell, who takes just about all your classes here in Taunton, right, Alexa? That's great. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Gloria, a lot has been made about the growth here in Taunton, specifically this year. A lot happened last summer. We documented it on the show back in the fall where BCC was able to get into this new building for BCC, which was a former Catholic middle school, former Coyle High School years gone by. Yep. How important is it for Taunton now to have a one-stop center here where night classes, day classes, adult basic ed, all the services that BCC provides is under one roof? How important is it?
It's extremely important, not only for our students, but also for the community. I'm sure you are quite aware that not only do we offer credit-bearing courses, but we also offer non-credit. We offer ESL, GED, CNA. In fact, I believe it's this week, we have a business coming in to train their employees.
Workforce development.
Yes.
Very important. Let me ask you, Gloria, since the college announced in the fall that it was going to have this one-stop shop, last year, I believe it was last year, maybe even 2 years ago, a lot was made of having more day classes. It was at the Kohanet School. Yes. Now everything's here. How has enrollment been here in general here in Taunton? Has it been on the rise?
Numbers have increased. Our numbers have literally swelled. We went from perhaps 200 students to we're a little under 400.
And that is for all courses, day, evening, or is that just day classes?
That is for all of our courses, all of our credit-bearing courses.
Okay. And like the campuses in New Bedford and in Attleboro, there's also more efforts here to try to have complete degree programs where a student can actually go through all of his or her requirements right here in Taunton. Is that correct? And
Yes.
what's that number approximately?
We offer approximately 4 degree programs that can be completed here in Taunton in its entirety. Right now, we're in the process of working on including the human service degree program.
Okay.
So what we're doing to make that happen is each semester I'm working with the dean and the registrar to include a new course offering for the human service program so that the students can complete their degrees entirely here. We're also trying to offer more of an elective selection as well. I'm currently working with the dean for Division 5 and Anthony Ucci to include CAD classes. So we're really trying to progress with the course offerings.
And a lot of that also, it's the same at all of our campuses. I'm sure that you're trying to meet the needs not only of students, but maybe also the needs of maybe some of the businesses here in the local area. So I'm sure you're talking a lot with businesses in terms of meeting their needs. How important, Gloria, is it to provide some of the ancillary services here in Taunton? We talk a lot about in Attleboro and New Bedford. They have full libraries, full services for people to get information about financial aid and advisement. Is that handled similarly here in Taunton?
Yes. All of the staff that are working here out of the Taunton Center, they can take our students on a soup to nut journey once they enter through our doors. We can assist them with the admissions process. We can take them on the financial aid journey. And once the Fall River separate departments, the enrollment services department, sends those students a letter of what's required, for example, Form 1. That student can return here, and we've got Form 1 printed out if they've given us advance notice, or we'll print it out and we'll submit it to the Fall River campus. We also have offering writing center services, other disciplines, which our students may request for tutoring, math tutoring. We're trying to make sure that we offer a little bit of everything the other campuses are offering.
That was going to be my next question, the academic support piece, which is vitally important for students to get that extra help. And it's good that Taunton also provides those same services. Let me talk to Alexa for a few moments. Alexa, you're from Rainham, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you heard that BCC has almost a full-time campus here in Taunton, how interested were you in that? And obviously, you're taking all your courses here, right?
Yep.
So it must have been important. Why was it so important to you?
I was very interested actually because it's very convenient for people who can't make it to Fall River or Attleboro. So.
What's your major? What do you hope to get into?
Criminal justice transfer.
Okay. So what year are you as a student? This is your first year?
Yes.
So have you liked what you've taken thus far?
Absolutely, yes. I love all my classes.
Let me ask you, how easy was it for you to register here in Taunton and get the support of the staff here to get you going on your college career? How easy was it?
It was very easy. It took a day. They helped me do financial aid and pick my classes and all that.
Were there any challenges for you? I mean, if BCC wasn't here in Taunton, was there an opportunity for you maybe not to take classes because of any other transportation issues or other issues that you may have faced?
Yeah, probably transportation.
It's the biggest issue,
Yeah.
huh? And I'm trying to get a geography lesson here. Rainham is not that far from Taunton, but still is a distance to get here. It's a lot easier to get to Taunton. Do you take public transportation, or you're able to still get here?
I get a ride.
You get a ride.
Yeah.
But again, that helps, Gloria, for a lot of students in this area, and that's always been the case of Bristol Community College, providing that opportunity and that access. And I'm sure you hear stories all the time of similar students like Alexa, who are either in the Taunton area, are able to take public transportation, we're not far from downtown, to be able to take classes, and that's important. Is that correct?
Very important. It's extremely important for students to have accessibility to our Taunton Center. So whether it be someone whose parent has a vehicle that will provide access and opportunity to arrive here in Taunton, but not the distance of Fall River or the distance of Attleboro, or if it's the GATRA bus,
Right.
which is the public transportation, that will drop them off at the front door and pick them up at the front door. So transportation is a real problem for our Taunton residents, so we continuing to stay central is key. It's going to be vital to our success, or continued success.
Finally, Gloria, as we look forward, this is April. We're already looking forward, of course, to the fall of 2015. Any plans you can share right now on what may be happening new, say, for students in the fall here in Taunton?
We will, again, just continue to increase the course offerings.
Yeah.
That's going to be very important. When you have a program selection of 17 to 22 electives,
Yeah.
we have to be creative in what we bring in so that students can feel that they can have the success of completing their degrees here in Taunton.
Well, it has been a great success thus far. This Taunton Center is growing, and like President Sprague says, if we build it, they will come.
They
if we
will
provide
come.
the access,
Yes.
and that's very important. And hopefully, BCC will continue to grow here in Taunton. Gloria, Alexa, thank you for your time.
You're
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
In previous editions of our show, we've talked a lot about BCC expanding into the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM fields. More recently, BCC has invited middle and high school students to take part in a regional robotics competition at the Fall River campus. The interest in robotics has grown in recent years, and BCC has been tabbed to be a regional qualifying host for the New England VEX robotic competitions that are held at Quinsigamond Community College in Worcester. Megan Abella Bowen, Associate Dean of STEM Initiatives, says having a regional competition at BCC opens doors to local middle and high schools who may not otherwise be able to compete.
It's closer, it's easier access for them. But two, because Quinsigamond also has the grant, they're able to help provide some support services, and some of that can come through funding. So a school that may not have been able to compete in the past, because again, a VEX robot is not inexpensive, it's about a $1,000 commitment for a school to come in on that. And it's got to be that first step in. How does that work for them? And so if they're able to get their first robot maybe at, donated to the school, and a teacher takes it on, then others quickly jump on board and go, this is really interesting. And robots are just a really good way to get kids involved.
Abella Bowen adds that younger students get excited about robotics, and while they're at it, they learn many concepts of STEM. Hosting the events also opens students up to the possibility of making BCC their choice for higher education.
We're doing well in engineering, but it's still something that a lot of people don't realize. We have an engineering program here. We have a phenomenal CIS program here. Again, I think many schools aren't familiar with our CIS program, and so they're not encouraging kids to look at us. And I think by having the VEX competition here, having the opportunity to bring the students here, they meet our faculty, they see our students, and they see the opportunities. And it opens up a lot of doors that may not have been they may not have been aware of prior to that.
The college hosts 2 VEX robotic scrimmages this semester and will become the official regional qualifying site beginning this fall. We move from younger future college students to those adult learners seeking a second chance. Last month, BCC once again invited adult students completing their high school equivalency to experience what it's like to attend college for a day. Those returning to school as part of BCC's Adult Basic Education program had the opportunity to sit in on college-level classes as part of the College for a Day program. Over 180 students were invited to this year's event, including Nadine Reben, who was educated in Switzerland and returned to BCC to start a career in health sciences.
I was nervous coming here because I have never been a college student in the United States, so I didn't know what to expect. But I was also excited to learn some new things and see some new things. We had introduction, we went to our classrooms, and you kind of throughout the day, you eased up, and it was a very positive experience, and it supported my decision to pursue my goals and to enroll into college.
Dean Bernadette Driscoll, who oversees the Adult Basic Ed program, says the College for a Day event has proven to be a linchpin in meeting the needs of adult learners on the South Coast.
We offer day and evening classes. We offer classes that run 6 to 9 hours a week. We offer some classes that run 20 hours a week. We also have integrated workforce training within our programs. So we're really trying to meet the need of all the people out there. We have distance learning classes, so whatever the need is, we're listening to what the community is telling us. We have community partners on board, our advisory board, and we're listening to what they have to say. We listen to the students. We have a student leadership team. So we listen to what the needs are, and we make sure we implement it so that the students can take advantage of it.
This year's College for a Day event was made possible through a contribution by Bay Coast Bank. Dean Driscoll says next year, the College for a Day event may be extended to include students who take adult ed classes in the evening. Over the past month, BCC has been the recipient of a pair of financial gifts in support of the college's mission. The Rogers Family Foundation has donated $1 million to the college for use as it sees fit. In return, the Board of Trustees has announced that the college's existing science building will now be named the Rogers Family Foundation Science Building. BCC also received a $514,000 gift from Kathy and Brian McLean of Connecticut. That money will be used in the John J. Sprague Health and Sciences Building, currently under construction in Fall River. When complete, the nursing lab in that facility will be named in honor of Kathy and Brian McLean's mother, Alice M. Harkin. That's all for Around BCC for this month. We leave you with a look back at the exhibition entitled Locker Room Culture, recently held at the Grimshaw Goodowitz Art Gallery in Fall River. I'm Keith Tebow. Thanks for watching.